Yeah, we live. Y'all see the title, tema boxeo. $20, tema boxeo, man. Yeah. Wanna join live. Let's get it. Let's get it. Canelo undercard. Canelo versus Charlo undercard. Ya se la saben. Ah. Su Ramos versus Erikson Lubin. Mario Barrios versus Yorendis Ugas. Solid undercard. But of course, PBC putting it down. Putting it down. And that's what we like to see. Fire cards, fire cards. 2 days, 2 days. 2 days for the fight to go down. And I can't wait, man. Can't wait. Uh, fun, fun night of boxing. A great night of boxing. And then a historic night of boxing as well. So, yes. We will be seeing history be made. And of course, but we hoping for a really great night of boxing. Undercard looking great. Um, so so it's gonna be fun. I didn't when last time I went live I didn't mention the undercard, but that's what we're going live and we're gonna be talking about it. Uh, Jesus Ramos, Erikson Lubin. Uh, so Erikson Lubin trying to get back in that title shot, versus 154. So in order to do that, he has to take out Jesus Ramos, an explosive, an explosive guy coming up, been knocking everybody out. You know what I'm saying? His last fight, knocked out TKO Joey Spencer, and yeah, you know what I'm saying? Up and coming guy. He took him out, and now he's close to getting a shot at the undisputed. Depending what Charlo does and all that, if he if he comes back down in weight from 168 after the Canelo fight, depending what happens on Saturday night, but uh, right there, Erikson Lubin or Jesus Ramos, Tim Zhu, they're all knocking on the door. More than anything, like the zoos of the world, since they have interim strap, they might. Well, in reality, who is it that will be fighting for a vacant? The WBO, yeah, Zoo. He will be fighting for a vacant WBO since WBO did strip um, Jermel Charlo. So Tim Zoo will be fighting for that vacant WBO versus Brian Mendoza. A guy that Jesus Ramos has knocked out, or beat. Uh, so it's pretty interesting at 154, but these are the guys that are gonna be getting a shot at at the championship straps. Um, so whatever Mel Charlo decides to do, stay at drop down to 160 if he can't make 154, or stay at 68. Who knows? But Saturday we will know somewhat depending if he wins or loses. But these are the guys that are up next to face him if he were to go back to 154 after the Canelo fight, um, which is Ramos or Lubin. Two explosive guys. Uh, you could say the more experienced Lubin been in there with the more experienced fighters as Mel Charlo, Fundora, and just all these other fighters. He's gotten the better experience. Ramos is just coming up, but he's a really explosive Mexican, and we'll see what he can do if he can take Lubin out or or will he lose. We will see, but regardless, it will be a fun fight. I'm pretty sure all the fans in Vegas will be going wild and be really entertained by that fight. Since I know Lubin ain't gonna back down, and I know Ramos ain't gonna back down, so it's gonna make for a real fun fight, and can't wait for it. You know what I mean? I do give the edge to Ramos since he's undefeated, um, has faced some solid competition, and has got him out of there. Lubin, I feel like he's been a little damaged, and and that's why I give the edge to Ramos. I feel like Lubin is a little bit damaged goods. He still has that pop. He still has that pop that might can change the fight with a shot, but I don't know. We will see on Saturday. We'll see if he can get back on the right track and go after a belt. Because I don't know. I doubt Mel comes back to 154 and faces them because he has a lot of mandatories to do. Since he's not undisputed no more, since his WBO he got stripped of his WBO, um, which I don't know why, but you know what I mean. He's been inactive, but I mean, it happens. So I mean, you can't be mad. And he has the other WBC, IBF, and WBA. So he still has three belts if he were to decide to go back to 154, which uh, which is all right. But we will see. Like I said, we'll see what Mel Charlo decides to do if he goes back to 154. But as of now, these guys are gonna duke it out, Ramos and Lubin, and I'm sure we're gonna get a great fight out of them. And whoever wins out of that is gonna go on and either fight fight for a belt or that becomes vacant because Charlo don't come back down to 154, or maybe get a fight at Charlo. Who knows? We'll see, but it's gonna be a really solid fight. Ramos Ramos, I've seen like two fights from him, no lie. But the fights that I seen, uh, man, like I didn't think he was gonna beat Joey Spencer since I had heard more of Joey Spencer since PBC was pushing him to be, the next Canelo type fighter. And he really got exposed versus Ramos. But I mean, Ramos was just stronger and was beating up Joey Spencer, and he got that TKO victory, which I couldn't believe. But I mean, that's what put Ramos in these type of fights in these cards, since he is a good fighter, and not just a good fighter, an exciting fighter that give the fans a great show, and won't be a boring in a boring fight. So the people at PBC know what they're doing. Putting on these two on a Canelo undercard. which we know is gonna be action in the main card. But regardless, uh, undercard could always be great, and that's what this is. Uh, Ramos versus Lubin. So, I mean, it's pretty lit. It's a pretty lit undercard. The the Ugas versus Barrios is alright. More excited to see Ramos versus Lubin, but regardless, you know what I mean. It's gonna be a litty card. So we can't we can't be mad. We can't be mad. So you know what I'm saying. It's gonna be like keep saying great night of boxing. Who wins boxing? It's just gonna be a good atmosphere. So boxing is gonna win on Saturday, September 30th, and it's just gonna be history being made in the main event. You know what I mean? Crawford made history becoming the second fighter to become undisputed in two divisions, and another fighter will do the same on Saturday night. So that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? We had we had UFC like 2 weeks ago. We had boxing last weekend, but this is a real event in September. And happy is finally getting here. So been wanting to watch a big fight ever since the one I missed, Bud versus Spence, and there's no way I'll be missing this one since I'm a big Canelo fan and a Charlo fan too. Been a fan of the Charlos for a fat minute, so been following their career since like they had the dreads way back then. So uh, been a fan for a fat minute before they were champions. So you know what I mean. I'm glad that Mel gets a shot at Canelo, and win, lose or draw, regardless of Canelo or Mel losing. Regardless, I'm a fan of both. So if you're a fan of the sport, you could do the same. But it's just a lot of fans that I used to be those fans that be like, oh yeah, but not really. When a fighter loses, I mean, yeah, it sucks, but I don't mean that you have to abandon them. Uh, of course, like everybody else, not perfect, so we do critique here and there when a fighter loses, but regardless, uh, you should remain a fan of the fighter that loses, because either way they went in there and tried their best. Not everybody uh, is down enough to step in the boxing ring and throw blows, and it just takes a strong individual to get in there. So I mean, that's why you gotta give them their respect, and that's why I give my respect. Unless if you're just even though the Charlos do talk a lot of smack, but I mean, I like how they come to fight regardless. So they're not they're not a all defensive first type of fighter. So I mean, even they deserve their respect for their type of style. But I mean, that's just not my preference of style to watch. So I mean, everybody has a preference to watch, but that's why I'm a fan of theirs, because they will come to fight, and and that's why I'm a fan. But like I said, fan of both. But great night. That will be a boxing. Uh, Jesus Ramos versus Erikson Lubin. I know that's gonna be fireworks from the first round uh, to the 12th if it goes, which I really doubt. But I don't know. We'll see. But like I was saying, with Joey Spencer, Jesus Ramos looked huge. Uh, he looked he looked real big. Who knows how he gets down to 154? But let's look at his height. He's like 5'10". Yeah, he's a 5'10" southpaw. El Mono from AZ, Arizona, and Lubin is around like 5'9", so which height doesn't really mean anything if you don't know how to use it. But versus Joey Spencer, Joey Spencer, Ramos looked way taller and just he looked like a middleweight, but I mean he made he can make he can make 154. So I mean that's on that's on him. He can make it, so he could fight at that weight. You know, AZ versus Florida, and you know the hammer is taller by an inch. Also a southpaw. Uh, just the difference in age, but by Lubin being a couple years older. But ever since Lubin lost to Fundora, you know he got in there with like he got his wins back up. Um, or at least one versus Luis Arias. Arias was never really that good, but you know he was a tricky fighter. Uh, you know, a mover, a jabber. You could say a boxer. You know, he got the W TKO, and yeah, that was his only win after the Fundora lost. And you know, he did beat some notable fighters, Jason Rosario, the Dominican guy. He was, I believe, Jason Rosario was. He was unified. He was unified like champ for like a couple belts. I don't know if it was two or three belts, but that's like some notable. He faced Ishe Smith, a TMT fighter. Um, you know, he lost to Jermel Charlo. Uh, and Jermel Charlo KO'd him back in the day, 2017. Um, and that's like about it. The notable fighters that he's faced. But regardless, you know, solid resume, and he's fighting you know up and coming Chicano from AZ, and he's with the business as well. Who will win? We will see. We'll see who leaves it all in the ring and who wants it more. Lubin, you know, he's taken some L's, but you know, 25-2, and he's trying to get back in that elite at 154. Cause if he takes a L, then you know I'm pretty sure he's gonna have to go back down and really work his way back up to like a championship fight, you know. And Ramos is only 22. You know what I'm saying? 5 years younger than Lubin, and you know he's explosive. Uh, any notable fighters that he's faced? Well, like I said, Brian Mendoza, he beat him, he UD'd him. Uh, and who else? That's pretty much it. Who I know that's a little bit more known. And Brian Mendoza right now he's getting a shot at the WBO title versus Tim Zoo. And and if You know, if Brian Mendoza were to win, which he probably could, because I had picked him to lose to Fundora, but I really didn't know too much of him. And you know, he got that W. He got that W, and now he's fighting for the WBO title. So if he wins, I'm pretty sure if Ramos wins, he'll want to get that fight versus Mendoza, as he has beat him before. He'll probably think he can beat him again, and he might become the WBO champion. In the perfect world for Ramos, right? If Mendoza were to win, even though I still feel like Ramos can beat Tim Tszyu, uh, but we'll see. We'll see how it plays out this Saturday, and from there we'll go on, because Brian Mendoza does fight Tszyu like in around November, I believe. Um, but but yeah, like I said, I have Ramos beating the more experienced Lubin, but I just feel like Lubin has been too damaged to be a up and coming fighter like Ramos. But we will see. We will see. Uh, we'll see if um, if Ramos can take out Erikson Lubin. But I like his style. I like Ramos' style, man. He's sharp. He has angles. He has height. He has reach. Just he's a pretty good boxer, man. And like I said, he has explosive power. So, uh, so it's gonna be a firefight versus the Hammer. Um, but I probably have uh, El Mono versus the Hammer. 60-40 for Ramos, in favor of Ramos. We'll see. We'll see how it goes down. But yeah, that's the Ramos versus Erikson Lubin fight, and then we have San Antonio's Mario Barrios. That he's been getting love at PBC ever since he got that tank fight. He continues to get good fights, but that's because he also puts on um, excellent outings when he fights. So uh, I mean, of course, you, Barrios makes an entertaining fight with whoever, and at welterweight, he jumped up from like 135 to 47, where the money fights are at. Um, as you should, because you're in the business to get paid. So yes, ever since he lost to Gervonta Davis, the one that doesn't really fight anybody, that just fights for money and not legacy. He's still a fun fighter to watch, an exciting fighter, but like I said, he's a fight. Gervonta's a fighter that fights for money, doesn't really fight for legacy. After he lost to Gervonta Davis, he got back in there and fought Keith Thurman last year. Lost. That was more like a fight for Thurman to get his groove going, and he's really Mario Vargas was really a 135 pounder that couldn't make weight, but Thurman should have knocked him out, which I was really surprised he should have knocked him out, but Barrios, hung in there and pretty much got a boxing lesson handed to him, and then he went on and fight Giovanni Santiago, and got a TKO win, but who is Giovanni Santiago? Nobody, right? So um, usually what they do, fighter that's someone known takes a couple L's, takes a L, gets a tune up, and then ends up taking another big fight as of now, uh, taking on Yorendis Ugas, Barrios, and Ugas is an alright fighter. You know, he's up there in age, but regardless, he's still holding it down. He only lost to uh, he has a couple close fights, L's. You know, to Sean Porter. A lot of people said that he should have won that. You know, he lost to Spence. He kind of beat up ever since then, but you know what I'm saying. Barrios, you know, ranked 27 in the world in welterweight. You know, he's 28 years old. De La Azteca, he's 6 feet from San Antonio, reach of 71 inches. Um, Regardless, you got youth versus, you know, older 32-year-old Ugas, you know, from Cuba, 5'9", 69-inch reach, fighting out of Miami. But I think he might be staying in Vegas still. I'm not sure if he went back to Florida, but you know he beat Manny Pacquiao, so I mean he did take the WBA from him. So you know it's a solid. If Barrios can beat Ugas, you know it'll be really solid since Ugas did beat Manny Pacquiao, and I mean that's someone good to have on your resume. But I feel like on this fight, I feel like Ugas is gonna beat Mario Barrios. Cause I never really seen Mario Barrios do good versus the top. And even though Ugas is older than him, I don't know. I had to see the fight, cause maybe from the damage that Ugas has received now in his 27 fights, I believe he has. Um, his 27 fights, he's taken some damage as well. He's a pretty, you know, a fighter. He had retired not too long ago because he couldn't get fights or whatnot. So I don't know. He's a pretty inactive fighter. He took a pretty long time, like a year out of the ring since he lost to Spence. So it's just, you know, I don't know. It's a fight Barrios should win based on youth. He's the more active fighter, but I don't know. I believe Ugas will probably edge it out, but I could be wrong. You know what I mean? You know, Ugas has beat Omar Figueroa Jr. Uh, 2019 when he faced Sean Porter, and you know he got edged out, took a split decision loss for some notable fighters that he's faced. Um, you know, he also lost to two unknowns, to Emmanuel Robles in San Diego, split decision, and then Amir Ahmed Imam, um, which, yeah, the top ranked fighter, or the Don King fighter, Amir Imam, the one that Jose Ramirez beat. But, you know, those are some of the notable guys on Ugas's record. Um, like I said, Barrios does have some some qualities over Ugas, but will that transition into the fight come fight night? Who knows? We don't know. We'll see though. We'll see. I don't know. I feel like this fight I have it as a 50-50 more than anything, just because Ugas. If Ugas was more active, I would say Ugas would win. But with the inactivity, I I give it a 50-50 because um, Barrios, is active. Uh, if Ugas was more active, I believe he's the more talented fighter, more athletic fighter. Barrios doesn't just have it for me. Every time he stepped up in competition, he has lost. And Ugas has a pretty solid record. So, um, I mean, that's why I have that's why I have Ugas as a 50-50, and he's been inactive. So, but I don't know. Barrios might surprise and knock the inactive fighter out in Ugas, or he might decision him just based on everything. Ugas also has been paid real well with the fights that he had versus the unification versus Earl Spence. So he ain't living that bad. His family's somewhat good in Vegas. So I don't know. We'll see if that plays into the fight. If he's comfortable, if he still wants it, if he's still hungry. We'll see if Ugas still has that hunger for more in him, or if Mario Barrios, the Azteca, really goes in there and puts it on Ugas. If the Aztec Warrior comes out and in that Jaguar comes, he se come a Ugas, like how is it gonna go down? That's really a 50-50 fight for me. Like I keep saying, I don't these fighters. I don't really Ugas. I know he goes in there and fight, but he's a tough fighter, inactive, and Barrios. I don't know. I just don't think he has that clutch gene since all the fights that he's had. Don't get me wrong. He does give it his all, but I just don't think he has that it factor that takes it. But we'll see. I could be wrong. We'll see how he does versus Ugas, but he should be the fresher man come Saturday night, and and he might surprise me. You know what I mean? I just from what I seen of Mario Barrios, he hasn't done enough. Uh, he needs more versus these fighters, but he has been facing the top of the line fighters in Gervonta Davis and Keith Thurman and those type of fighters. So Ugas, you can say, is a tier below or two below them. So, um, but remember he did beat Manny Pacquiao, the legend. So beating Ugas would, if Barrios would beat Ugas, that would probably land him even bigger fight. So I'm pretty sure Barrios going in the motivated and just wanting to beat Uga's ass up. So regardless, we will see a great night of boxing. Like I've been saying, Barrios versus Ugas, and I'm pretty sure the undercard before that, the televised card, is gonna also be great for the fans in attendance. But the ones being televised, Barrios versus Ugas and Jesus Ramos versus Erikson Lubin, is gonna start the show before the main event goes down. So, well, we're all waiting for, but I mean, regardless, these these two fights going down gonna be real entertaining. Starting with Ugas and Barrios, and then Ramos versus Erikson Lubin. So welterweight, super welterweight, and super middleweight gonna be going down. Um, just one championship, undisputed versus undisputed going down, and the other seeing what if they're gonna get a shot at a belt soon and see where the career goes from there. But I mean, uh, don't forget to tune in with me, man. I'm gonna be going live on um, on Saturday night, so I'll be doing the voice commentary. So if you ain't gonna watch it, you can come watch it with me on my channel, and it's gonna be going down, man. You know what I mean? Great night of boxing. Come kick it. We gonna be watching that. So yeah, that's for the undercard, and y'all already know how I feel about the main event. The main event, man, is from what I've been seeing from the all access and all that, um, it's is all right. Nothing that we haven't seen. Charlo, is more relaxed because he knows he ain't got to do that wolfing. Like he already got the fight. That's what he been wanting. So, uh, all he got to do, relax. Uh, they told him who said I think it was Tarver that said that he was, you know, using too much energy before. That he should save that energy for fight night, and we've been seeing a more relaxed Charlo, and hopefully he's explosive on fight night, because we know Canelo will be explosive as well, and we want a great historic night of boxing, and we know someone is going to get KO'd, and I don't know. I just feel like it's gonna be Charlo, the one that's gonna be getting KO'd, because uh, he has been. I believe he's been down before. Uh, I think I don't really remember. It might have been versus Castano, but I could be mistaken. Canelo's never been down or hurt since Miguel Cotto's brother, Jose Cotto. So, but ever since then, he hasn't been hurt. Not even by Triple G, Kovalev, Bivol, none of them. So, the 147 pounder, went all the way up to light heavyweight and has not been rocked by them big dudes. So, I just don't see how 154 pounder could do anything to Canelo. I just don't see it, and that's why I've been saying that Canelo KOs Charlo from like the seventh to ninth, around there. Like I just see it, and if not in the championship rounds, for sure. Everybody's saying that Canelo has bad stamina, but even with the bad stamina, there's no way Charlo beats this Canelo, and that will show everybody that's been saying that Canelo been slipping. Obviously, he's not the same fighter he was when he was 22, when he was in his prime facing Triple G for the very first time. But I mean, uh, give Canelo a break. The only undisputed champ that is so active, that fights like 3 times a year. Not no champion in PBC really fights 3, let alone 4 times a year. So, I mean, and also you got to remember how many fights Canelo has. Has a hell of a lot of fights, and still active as shit. So give the guy a break, man. But regardless, you don't need to give him no breaks, because you will see how Canelo knocks out Charlo from 7 to 9, if not in the championship rounds for sure. But I believe from 7 to 9, he's gonna catch Charlo and he's gonna be good night. But you know, regardless, as long as they come out healthy out of the fight, that's what we want to see. But we do want to see blood. We do want to see someone get knocked out. And if that is Canelo, so be it. But I really doubt Canelo gets knocked out. But we will see. From what I've been seeing, Charlo's grateful for the opportunity. His family's gonna eat and have be good for a couple generations. So I'm pretty sure he's thankful for that. Uh, and Canelo, he's already he's already balling as shit. So uh, the guy just likes to the guy just likes to fight, and you know what I mean. That's really hard to do in the modern era of fighters that really that really be fighting and are up there. You know what I mean? In the top elite level, still fighting and still having what Canelo has, is just you don't really see that. So uh, we'll see what goes down. But all I know this, we will have a an exciting night of boxing, and I believe there will be a bunch of KOs Saturday night. And I do see Canelo being the victorious out of the two. So, um, I mean, but hopefully, like I said, the undercard gives a great show. Canelo can do what he does, and continue to go on with that contract at PBC. Either if that's versus Ma next or Benavides, that's who we really want to see him go at it with. But regardless, I know we're gonna have a firefight versus Charlo. After that, I want to see what everybody says, or at least Canelo's gonna shut up a lot of people with this fight, cause uh, I mean they've been saying a bunch of stuff that he's slipping. So we will see a lot of YouTubers, boxing YouTubers got Mel Charlo as number one. Let's see if, but regardless, Canelo don't need no one's approval of being number one. He's just gonna be, just giving it to these critics that talk just some nonsense, some hater ish. We know what it is. Um, there's just a lot of hate out here, and he's gonna continue to show him what it is. The 34-year-old Canelo still has it, even though he started boxing like at 15. Uh, they say he has a lot of wear and tear, and even with all that, he'll still be Charlo because no one been doing it like Canelo been doing it, fighting these champion after champion after champion. So they just want what he got, but no one really puts in the work that he puts in. So that's why where he's at today, and that's why he got a lot of haters. Uh, Former champions in his weight, super middleweight, you know what I mean? Hate because they didn't achieve what he's achieving. First super middleweight undisputed. Um, so of course he's gonna get. He already had haters, so of course he's still gonna continue to have or get hated on. But regardless, they can hate all they want because regardless, he already made that history. Uh, the Mexicano made that history, and he's well off. He don't need a fight. If Canelo, ever since he became undisputed, um, after that and before that, he was already a Hall of Famer. Once he became undisputed, man, that made him legend status in the game. And we've been knowing that though since he was young as hell. Fighting these top guys, continue to do so, uh, and you'll see how he KOs Charlo this Saturday. But don't forget to be out back here. Saturday we'll be going live, doing the live commentary, and like I said, be back here. We'll be going live, and you want to come chill with us, watch the fight. Welcome, and till next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tony Bucks, we out till Saturday. We'll be going live, so till next time.